Hello everyone, welcome back. First of all, congratulations. Together, we have completed the basics of Windows Docker containers. Now, it's the time to learn the real stuff. In this video, I'm going to show you how we can run Jenkins inside a Windows Docker container. Running Jenkins inside a Linux Docker container is pretty easy. Go to the Docker Hub, search for the Jenkins official image. From the documentation page, get those commands and launch the Jenkins container. That's it. But when it comes to Windows, you will not get those images. You have to write your own Docker files and you have to build them and run containers from it. And this is not an easy task. I have spent bunch of hours to make these Docker files to work. To be frankly, I'm a Linux guy and I don't know much stuff in Windows, but I tried very hard to create these. Now I'll talk about the Jenkins Docker file and then we'll build it. And from the build image, we'll try to run a Docker container. As you can see, so this is the Docker file to create a Jenkins image. So as you can see, the from instruction always first from the image. This is the base image we are going to take. And we are creating two directories inside the Docker container. So one is C Jenkins and another one is C dependencies. So inside this C dependencies, I would like to copy all the prerequisite softwares inside this folder. And at this C Jenkins location, I want to use this folder as a Jenkins home directory. And first of all, we need to download the required softwares to our host operating system. And then with this add instruction, we'll try to add all the files from your host operating system to at this location. All right. So for this Docker file to build, so we need Java binary, and then we need to download the Jenkins var file, right? So first we'll try to download those things and we'll try to copy at this location. Once those two files are copied at this location inside a Docker container, and it will try to run a PowerShell script. So this PowerShell script will start a process inside the Docker container and it will try to execute this file. We are going to download this Java file, right? And then we are installing the Java inside a Docker container in a silent mode. So in Windows, so there is a concept called installing the softwares in different ways actually. So if you want to install any software silently, so you need to make a script and that script will try to install the software installation for ourselves. So once the Java is installed and with this env instruction, this env instruction is useful to assign to create an environment variables inside the Docker container. So we are just creating the environment variable called Java home. So I want to take this location as a Java home location. And also one more environment variable we are making. This environment variable is Jenkins home. So we are making C Jenkins as the home directory for the Jenkins home. And env instruction is very useful to create the environment variables inside a Docker container. And then we have expose instruction. So this particular expose instruction will be used to expose your container ports. In the previous video, so we observed, right? So we have exposed the ports of your host operating system and then we port map to the container port. So in the Docker file, so we need to specify what are all the ports that you have to expose. So, okay, if you are not exposing your ports inside the Docker file, so when you are running the Docker container from it, if you use -P or -P, it's not going to open the ports of your Docker container. So you have to specify the required ports that need to be opened when you are running the Docker container. Those ports you need to mention with this expose instruction. So Jenkins will use two ports. One is 8080 and then 50,000 port. Okay, so that's the reason I'm just opening the two ports with this expose command. And also volume. So this volume will make the container host operating system path as dynamic one. Okay, so we need to make the persistent volume to the Jenkins home directory, right? Even if the Jenkins container is deleted, so we have to make sure the Jenkins data should be persistent. So that's the reason I'm just making this volume as a dynamic one. So that's the reason volume is there. And try to understand this C Jenkins folder is the Jenkins home directory. And then finally, with the Java command, I'm running the Jenkins var file. Okay, CMD instruction will give the container to instruct. When you are running the container, just try to run this command, right? So this particular command will be run inside the Docker container with the CMD instruction. I hope this Docker file is pretty much clear. And first we need to download the dependency packages, and then we'll try to build the image, and then finally we'll try to run the container from it. So first of all, so we have to download two packages. One is Jenkins var file, and another one is Java executable file. Let's open the Chrome browser. So first we'll try to download Jenkins. Go to the download Jenkins. And then in this, I'm using the long-term support LTS format. And here you can see the generic Java package. Okay, so it is downloading. In the meantime, I'll try to download the Java package as well. Download Java for Windows. And click on this official Java link, and then search for the version 8, Java 8. Here you can see Java SE 8421. Here you can see the download link. Just click on the JDK download. And then if you go below, so it will give you the information like, so which operating system if you want to download. So I want to download for the Windows operating system, right? So because our containers are Windows based. So Windows 64, and I will try to download this one. Okay, accept, and then download it. So you have to log in to this Oracle to download the packages. I have already an account, and I will use my account to download this package. So once you provide the valid credentials, here you can see the package is downloading. All right, so the packages are downloaded. Let's go to the downloads folder, and these two files we need to copy to D Jenkins. Here I have created the Jenkins file, sorry, Jenkins Docker file. That's the reason I'm just copying those two required files at this location. Okay, once it is copied, go back to the terminal and go to the folder, and then try to list out the files. Here you can see the required Docker file is there, and then required softwares are downloaded. Let's try to build an image. Before building, let's validate. There is no image with the name Jenkins, right? So let's do one thing. Let's build it. Docker build -t. We are specifying a name to this, my Jenkins, and the Docker file is at this location. So it will start executing the Docker file. Whatever the instructions that you have provided inside it, it will try to execute one by one. So in the Docker file, we have currently nine instructions, and it is executing all the 9 instructions. As you can see, it is trying to executing the 4th instruction now. Let's wait for it to complete. Currently, it is installing the Java inside the intermediary container. Here you can see running in some hash number. That means it created an intermediary container, and this is the container ID. And inside this container ID, it is running the installation, Java installation. Okay, I think it will take time. So I'll pause the video here and I'll come back once it is completed. All right, so the process is completed. Finally, here you can see the success message, right? So if you go to the Docker images, there you can see my underscore Jenkins is there, which is latest image, and 4 minutes ago just now created, and the size is 6.14 GB, right? So let's try to run a container from this Docker image. So you know the command, right? So Docker run -it. I want to run this container in a detached manner, and then I want to assign a host name for this. Win Jenkins container, and I want to specify a name to this container, win underscore Jenkins underscore container, and then the name is my underscore Jenkins. Okay, so apart from this, I want to open the ports. So that's the reason I want to use -P. So I don't want to specify any ports to open. With this capital -P, then it will try to assign the ports automatically. And then I want to store the data of Jenkins persistently. So that's the reason I'm using -V, and then Jenkins underscore data. So this is the named volume that I want to utilize, right? So Jenkins underscore data. So inside which folder the Jenkins will install from the Docker file. So this is the location, C Jenkins, right? So let's try to mount the same ports, mount the same volume, Jenkins. Let's check J is capital or not. J is capital, yes. All right, so with this command, it will try to create a container, and it will map the required ports of host operating system and the container port. And whatever the data inside C Jenkins, it will be persistent at this named volume. So currently this Jenkins underscore data volume is not available, right? So Jenkins underscore data volume is not available. Let's check that. I'm going to the root volume of the Docker, C program files Docker, and then go to the volume. Here you can see only the app data directory is there. So the Jenkins data is not available yet, and it will try to create now. So we don't need to create explicitly. So when you mention Jenkins underscore data, Docker itself, it will try to identify this is a named volume, and then it will try to create a Docker volume for us. Let's execute this command. Okay, it's created a Docker container. Let's check this. And apart from that, we have other containers as well, WinIIS container 2, container 1. And so this is our name actually. This is our content, our container. So we can see the logs of this container with this option, Docker logs -F, and this container name, if you provide, you can see the running logs. Okay, so here you can see the Jenkins password already displayed over here. That means Jenkins is running. Let's go back to the volumes directory. There you go. Previously Jenkins data folder is not available over here, and if you go inside underscore data, here you can see that the Jenkins data is storing inside the Docker volume. Let's go to the browser and browse the Jenkins application. So we don't know so which port it is mapped, because we use the capital P, right? So for that we can utilize this Docker PS command to identify. So 51240. So 51240 is the port number. So go to localhost 51240. Let's cross check. 51240. All right, so let's browse this. There you go. Jenkins is displaying over here, and we need to specify the password. So initial password will be displayed in the logs. Let's get that password from the logs itself. Here you can see this is the password. Just copy and go back to the browser and paste it and continue. And install suggested plugins. And it will take time. I will pause the video here and then I'll come back once it is done. All suggested plugins are installed. Now it is asking to provide the admin credentials, provide the admin user. So I'll use my name. Password is password, and also confirm password is entered, and full name is Prasad, and email is prasad@example.com. Save and continue. And you can specify Jenkins URL at this location, and we need to specify the IP address, private IP address of this operating system. Let's do one thing. ipconfig. So the IP, private IP is this one, 172.31.12.235. And then instead of a localhost, just paste that and then save and finish. Okay, start using Jenkins. There you go, we just logged into the Jenkins. From this moment onwards, you can able to utilize this Jenkins to create your CI/CD pipelines and the build process, whatever you want. But try to understand this Jenkins is running inside a Windows Docker container. That is our main aim, and we just completed it. That's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video.